Hi there, I'm Drew Badger, the world's #1 English fluency guide, and this is a special video where I share a conversation I had with a learner. And so I wanted to just give you a little bit of information about this conversation, and then I'll just share basically the whole conversation with you. There were a few moments where the connection was not very good, so the audio quality was lost, but most of the conversation is there. It's a really powerful conversation, and it'll show you some very interesting insights about learning. So the person I was speaking with, her name is Monica. She's from Italy, and she's a fantastic woman, has a great job, and she's really excited to improve her English for reasons that you'll see inside the conversation. But just a few notes before I show you that. First, she's already a great student or a great learner, and actually she's a pretty good speaker of the language as well. But as you'll see, and this happens with a lot of people, maybe you out there watching this right now, where you know a lot of the language, but you still might be worried about specific things like, are you pronouncing things correctly, or are other people able to understand you? Are you using the word at the appropriate level of politeness? Other things like that. You'll see why some of these things are not as important as you think they are, depending on who you're speaking with. So you'll see that as well. But really, the advice that I give her is to stay in the now. So this just means staying out of her own head and really not allowing the worries that she has to stop her from speaking and expressing herself and delivering the value that she can deliver so well to her clients. Also, the conversation, I think, shows really the value of an English fluency guide rather than just someone who's a typical teacher, because it, again, is not necessarily a problem with the language. A lot of people actually know a lot of words and phrases and grammar already, but they just have trouble putting it all together and then being able to relax and express themselves. So I'll leave it to you, and I hope you enjoy. Well, I've received quite a few emails from you, but I think you were asking about, you're an accountant, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. I work in a bank. Yeah, that's amazing. You can remember everything, all the details.
Well, I don't remember a lot, but even though we're really busy, we receive lots of mails from people, and I can't personally respond to everybody, but I try to read as much as I can. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's my pleasure. I like to help, so I'm glad to hear that. So I figured we can do whatever you want on this call. This is all about you. So if you just want to speak and practice, or if you want to talk about something specific, or like your vocabulary, because I believe you asked
But,
about that before. But
but first of all, I'd like to thank you so much for this chance, of course. And I've been following you and your channel and your um, jumping from one course to another since 2014 because it was. I'm not a great believer, but I believe in coincidences. And when I decided to brush up on my English, and because I met a special friend who comes from Cape Town, but she's living here since 2014. I decided that it was really time to improve my English because I'd love to speak with her and with her husband and everything, but I needed to speak more and become hopefully fluent. And so I think when I chose your course, it was because there was a lot of common and casual English that I really needed. But as I'm a self-learner, it was difficult for me, especially at the beginning, to follow the whole class, the master class for each month. So unfortunately, I gave up. I gave up after 3 months, I think. But the purpose was I'll come back to this course when I feel more confident. But as you know, you will never feel confident enough to speak like natives because I can't think that I can be so good that I can speak like native. But my problem as a self-learner is and when I meet people, customers at the bank, is that I have to balance being professional, of course, in using the terms that I have to use, the technical terms, and being, I hope, being welcoming, caring, because they don't just need to open their account and set up their direct debit. They also need to be comfortable, to feel comfortable in a different environment, in a difficult place, because dealing with money, other people's money, is difficult for me, but also for them to trust the person that they have never seen before, and in a different country with different rules. So I have difficulties when I use, don't know, a common expression or a phrasal verb, because I don't know if it's polite enough, or it's formal enough, or it's too formal. It sounds strange to their ear. But when you ask people, like as I did last week, I asked my customers, well, I don't know if I have to say do bank transfer or make a bank transfer, and they looked at each other and they say, oh, for us it's the same. So I don't want to use my customers to practice English, of course, because I already
why
have
not?
Yeah, because they feel embarrassed, because they as you always say, to a native speaker, some things sounds natural, but they don't know why, unless they are teachers and they know grammar and they know the rules. They can't explain why you can say you have that collocation instead of another. It's just because it's natural, which is not to me, because all the time I still translate from Italian to English, although it comes quite natural to me to speak in English, because I've been practicing quite a lot. But when I want to learn more common expression that I always use with my children, then I don't know where to go to look and to check if it's just the exact translation, and this kind of stupid issues, but that are they stop me sometimes. That's it.
Sure. So first of all, what exact kind of work do you do? You're helping foreigners with financial transactions in Italy?
Well, no, I work in a small branch, so I do basically everything from the bank teller to the mortgage loans, personal loans, small business loans.
Okay.
Most of the time I work with customers with more specific transactions, like loans and accounts and this kind of things.
Okay. So and how you're getting many foreigners that come to do business with the bank?
Well, I live in the middle of Italy, which is a really beautiful place in Italy. So a lot of tourists come and they like the place, so they decide to buy a house there. So, but we have at the most 15 accounts from foreign people, also from Russia and Australia and New Zealand. So, but of course, we speak in English, more or less.
So all of these different people from other countries, they enjoy Italy and they want to move there. Is the bank specifically for foreigners, or it's just a regular bank that Italians use?
It's the standard bank, and as I speak English, it's so nice that people, even if they buy a house quite far from my village, because I live in a small village and not in a town, they somehow are, I don't know, someone spread this voice and they come to my branch and to open the account, because as I said, you have to understand what you are signing. and they need a good internet banking system that they can use so that they don't have to come all the time. So, but every time we meet, as I try to make them feel comfortable and welcome, we tend to speak also about, restaurants and buying furniture and other things. So it's not just learning the banking vocabulary, it's also
Sure.
talking about everything, basically.
Okay, now from hearing this, I'm getting. Do you know the expression to get goosebumps? Do you know what that is? So when you like you
No,
feel something, so to get goosebumps, like if you look at your skin, like if you feel there's a ghost in the room or something, and you can feel the hair on the back of your neck, it stands up. Do you have an expression like that in Italian? So something like you
I
feel
don't
your
know.
skin. A what?
We have um, our skin like the goat. I don't
I like
know.
it. So it's kind of a weird expression in English, but it just means when you're really excited or you're nervous or something like that, you can feel the hair stand up on your
Yeah,
arms or
yeah,
something. So
exactly.
the reason I have goosebumps is because this is such an exciting story. So it like you have it seems like you have a lot of worry about many different things and even many specific things. But also it's like a fantastic opportunity for you and also for your bank. So does your bank recognize this as well? Are they marketing like specifically for foreigners, or this is just like you are working at the bank and they say, "Oh, you should go talk to Monica because she's the English speaker."
Yeah, it's all about me. No, it's all about me because for my bank, they know that I can speak English, and so they know that I have more customers from abroad. But to tell the truth, my manager is not it doesn't agree that much because he says that I spend too much time helping them to do things that are not necessarily related to the bank. So
All right.
actually,
You
it's
you
not
should
true.
you should quit. You should. All right. Now I'm here to help you with your English. But if I were to give you some business advice, I would tell you to quit your job at the bank and start your own thing working
I love it
directly
so
with.
much. Can't. I love it very much. But yeah, it's the bank that gave me the opportunity to meet these people. And you know what? I think that they consider me as a reliable and trustworthy worthy
Trustworthy. Yep.
person. Also because, yeah, also because I work there. Because if I could speak English and I would meet them in along the street and I would ask them, can I help you with this, with your shopping or with the direction that you have to take to go where you want to go? Maybe they will look me as a weird person who is only nosy. And so maybe it's just because I work there that I have all these opportunities. And so I'd like to connect the two things, but you can never know what the future holds for you. So for now, I try to steal time to my day to learn and practice English. And when this opportunity come, I always try to push myself, although I'm quite scary and embarrassed. Of course, I'm embarrassed, but I try to catch everything because it's something that makes me feel so um, good because everybody is quite doubtful about our own skills and our own value, and yeah, this kind of things, the kind of chance makes me feel really proud of myself. Although as soon as I finish here, I have to make the beds, cook, and clean the house, and do the usual things that a wife and whoever does. But inside of me, I have this beautiful and fantastic experience that I'll keep with me all the time, and that's why I love having all the opportunities. But in the future, I'd love to help people, not just foreigners, but also other people, to understand better what what's behind the bank and the bank secrets, if I can say this.
Well, it sounds like you have lots of different talents, and the reason I mention that, I'm not seriously saying that you should quit your job right now, but when I listen to people, and you kind of, not just you but other students, so you are actually providing a tremendous value, a very great value to these foreigners
Thank
that are coming, and I want you to remember that, because when you move to a different country, uh, really they are the ones who are actually nervous. So they're coming there, and it's not
you.
just
Yeah,
traveling or asking where is the bathroom or a restaurant. They want to buy property there, and so that's
I'd like to
actually like,
say,
so the value that you can give
yeah.
them is really important. And so I just want you to remember that, to balance the worry that you have in your mind about, like, am I using the right phrasal verb, or am I too formal or not too formal? I think, I'm not there. I've not seen you speak at the bank, but I would imagine, uh, like, their appreciation is like up here, and your worry should be down here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And you are
Yeah.
perfectly right because they always tell me the last week I met a new couple because a friend of them told them you have to change your account, you have to change your bank because we work with the other branch where there's Monica who can help you. And they said me, and I was really touched because they said to me that they had such a good banking experience, and I can remember those words. I had them printed in front of me because it made me feel really grateful and happy. But the more they tell me that I'm good at helping them, the more I feel this pressure on me that next time I might do something more for them. And but it's because of my nature. I'm not a perfectionist, but I've always tried to do what I think is worth doing at my best. I give myself with everything I do because I know myself well. And if I don't think I can do my best, I just don't start. I put it away because um, it doesn't matter if someone think, oh, you don't do this thing because it's quite easy, but it's not for me. It's not what I feel I can commit to do. So as I'm doing, is I really wanna, um, as you know, my children are 13, and I think if they go to another country and they are lost in that country and they meet at least one person who can help them, I would be so grateful to this person. And the same is for me when I meet these people. It's not because I wanna listen to them thank me. It's because I'm already confident in my job, but I wanna improve myself and I wanna broaden my limits and I wanna put the stick higher, always higher, because I love challenges. But my challenges are the same that make that are quite overwhelming, and so sometimes I feel that I can't do everything. What about if they think I'm too nosy if I ask them this thing because I want to help them? I don't want that they might think I want to be curious about their lives, but this is something that, of course, as you say, they appreciate that I try to go the extra mile for them. Although I am always in a short time, and my manager sometimes come in my room and says, "Oh, you're still with those customers, so you are closing a lot of contracts," which I'm not, of course, because it's just talking and try to help them, and that's what I think.
I understand. It sounds like you have many things to balance in your life, as you mentioned. So you have your private life, your personal family life, and you have work, and you also have, do I spend enough time with a few customers, or do I spend more time with other customers? And you have to think about many things. Uh, so, but I hope you're seeing from the people, like, I don't think I've ever left a bank and thought, wow, that was a great banking experience. I've never had that happen before. So I think you should listen to that and think, I'm really doing a good job, and not because you need to hear that, but because it's a valuable service you provide for people coming to the bank. And I think, you could tell your bank manager, you say, hey, look, like, you are worried about me spending too much time with a few people. We could actually, like, charge them more, just like for the service, and I can focus on that specifically, just as, like, so we can make sure we provide great service, or something like that. But just remember that, as when you're worried about, using the right vocabulary, I think you're getting messages already that you're doing the right thing. And so I would continue doing more and continue to practice, but worry less, because as people are feeling that you like to serve, that's a good thing, and people appreciate that. So there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. The only thing I would say, is that you pay attention to the way they speak, and then, like, I talk about in lessons, maybe you've, like, heard this tip that I give about repeating back what you hear. So if a customer says something like, what did you do yesterday? So you can respond to that, but what you should do is also repeat what you heard, as a kind of tricky way of practicing that, that speech, or that, the vocabulary, whatever it is. So if someone asks you, oh, what did you do yesterday? Before you respond, you would say out loud to yourself, what did I do yesterday? And the reason you're doing that is just to practice, just to copy their speech without them knowing that you're copying their speech. So that gives you a chance to practice the vocabulary and the pronunciation, and then you can give your response. So for most people, if they're not a teacher, it's not really very helpful to say, well, why did you say at, or not, something like that. Most people are unable to explain why that is. So you might note that, and then, look online, or ask someone like me, somebody that would be able to help you with that. But the best way is really just to copy what they say, and then that way you can practice and improve, and kind of and listen very carefully. So you already have a great attitude, and you're a warm person, and you really like to help people, and all of those things are great. So you don't have a problem talking with people. In fact, it sounds like you talk with people too much, from your bank manager complaining about that. I think you're doing a great job. I would pay you more money if I were your bank manager. But again, you don't have anything to worry about. And I think when I read your mail a while back, we get lots of requests from learners about, hey, can you make a lesson for airline pilots? Can you make a lesson for doctors? Can you make a lesson for accountants, or something like that? So we can't, make specific lessons for everybody. But often people are worried more, kind of like you said, like, about all these little things that are happening that the other person really isn't caring about. So these customers are coming to Italy. They maybe they saw some movie about, I don't know, Tuscany, or something like that, like something, and it's like a kind of a fantasy for them as well. So the last thing they are thinking about is, like, if you used a phrasal verb correctly or not. They want to feel that, like, you are there to take care of them, and that's the most important thing. And if you remember that idea, it will help you relax, and then that will help you just serve your customers better. You'll have more fun at work, and then your mind won't be thinking about all these things. So remember this idea, because when you are in your own head thinking about your worries or whatever, then you're not providing good service. So if you want to give the best service you can, stay out of your own mind and just focus on people when they are there, and the language will develop naturally.
Yeah, I realized that I have to sorry, I have to think more about my customers and less about me, because if I think too much about how I sound to them, then I get nervous and I start forgetting the words and the expressions. But if I try, that's hard, but I have to practice this kind of switch from being an English learner when it comes to the foreign customers to being a consultant and a counselor, or someone who would like to help them balancing the work and the advice that they are there to take from me. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all those this advice. And it's also a kind of a psychological technique when you kind of mirror what other people do. Because if, for instance, if they write me an email and they start with "Hi Monica," but I start with "Good morning, Mrs. Grace," it's different. It's putting too much distance from me to them. Instead, I should copy how they act in order to make them feel more close to the situation to me, and the same way I might feel more relaxed and more comfortable speaking the language and understanding more and remembering more of what they say. I hope
Yeah,
so.
you understand it perfectly, and you're hearing it from that situation. So if a client mails you and they say, "Hi Monica," then you can respond with "Hi," "Hi," whatever that person's name is. So like, as you're kind of letting the customer lead the level of politeness. And so you can just repeat, like really just repeat back what you're hearing. And that's the same thing I do when I speak Japanese, when and we call that rapport also. So the idea of having a good connection with the other person. You don't want to copy everything they do, but you notice, if you go to a cafe in your village, maybe you see two women, they're good friends, they're sitting and talking, they're both sitting like this with their hand on their chin, they're both looking, they're mirroring each other, so they're making that connection. And when you do it purposefully, you try to do that, then people, like, the other person might not realize it, but like they feel like, wow, I really have a good connection with this person. So again, we'll wrap this up. So we'll wrap up this conversation with these ideas. You're already doing everything well. Just stay out of your own head and remember that, like, you have kind of two ideas. One is that you want to serve people better, and if you have that idea of wanting to serve people better, part of that is getting out of your own head. So it's like, it's a good idea for the customer if you relax. So if you remember that idea, that will help you. It shouldn't be that hard because it's benefiting them. So if you want to give good service, then relax. Stay out of your mind, stop worrying about things, and just focus on the customer. And I think your mind will kind of open up, and you will become more aware, and again, practice repeating. And another good reason to repeat is because it keeps you aware and focused on the conversation. So you have to say back to them what they're saying. So don't do that all the time, but just sometimes, if you notice an interesting phrase or something, or they said something, and so there are lots of great reasons to do that. But I think you've got the whole package. You've got clients that like you, that they are recommending you, and I think that's fantastic. So everything sounds like it's doing a great job.
You are fantastic too, and thank you really very much for all the YouTube videos that you give to us for free. Thank you so much for this beautiful occasion, and I really hope that you will continue doing everything like you are doing, and best wishes for your beautiful daughters and your family. I love them.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, if we buy a place in Italy, I know where to go to do my banking now.
Absolutely. I'm here waiting for all of you.
All right. Well, I will say goodbye for now, but thank you so much. And I hope the people watching this, when I put this up on YouTube, appreciate. There are a lot of good things in this conversation, a lot of great things that you said as well. Your English is great, and people need to remember that. It's not so much about learning. Like, if you already know a lot of the language, even if you don't speak very much, it's more about relaxing and allowing yourself to speak without trying to worry so much about are you correct or all those things all the time, because most people don't worry about it.
You are really great to have people relaxing, because it's not common to speak to a famous YouTuber, but you make myself feeling comfortable, and so I wish with my customers. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. How do you feel right now?
I feel comfortable, still nervous, but so proud of what you told me and what I asked you, because you gave me really valuable feedback, and I look forward to use them as soon as possible. Thank you so much, Drew.
Well, take like a week, when you go back to work, and just try practicing, like, number one, staying out of your head, and number two, repeating back what people are saying in kind of like a tricky way, to especially those phrases that you want to practice, and I think you'll see improvement very quickly.
Thank you so much, Drew.
Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next lessons.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye, Monica. Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation. It was a lot of fun getting to sit and talk with Monica for a while. I hope it also gives you some insight about what the life of a guide is like. I don't really get to do much one-on-one practicing with people because we help so many people. It's just physically impossible for me to work with thousands of people individually. But I hope watching that gave you a lot of good insight into your own learning, how a guide works with someone, and how you can really think kind of in a broader way about how you're learning as well. So why you're learning and how you can apply those same kinds of lessons in your life, especially if you tend to think too much, you're kind of in your own head, and you make yourself worried about, am I pronouncing things correctly? Are other people judging me? Other things like that. So if you'd like to learn more about how Monica is also improving, not just the mindset, but also the step-by-step lessons she uses, you can click on the link in this video to see more about the Fluency course. And hopefully I get to see you in more videos in the future. If you like this video, do comment down below. Let me know what you enjoyed about it, what kind of valuable gold nuggets you found from it, anything that really changed the way you think about learning, and other maybe tips that you might want to share with other people. So let me know if you liked it and if you'd like to see more of these conversations in the future. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Click on the link in the upper right of this video, or on the link in the description below this video, to take our quick Fluency quiz. It takes less than a minute, and we'll use your answers to give you the best advice possible in a free, personalized guide you can use to speak better English today. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, share it with others you know who also want to improve, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more. Click the bell icon for notifications after you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.